As you see in the passage today, we're actually going to be starting a new series, and this series is going to be on the 12 great feasts. You'll see 13, yes? What was that? You can't hear me? At all? Should I stand forward? Does that help because of the echo? It's on. For me, it's been a long weekend, so my voice is a little shot. But we're going to be speaking about the 12 great feasts within our church. September 1st, we started the ecclesiastical New Year. So just like how our calendar year has seasons and, let's say, federal holidays, the church has its own holidays and has its own seasons. And you actually see the church start transforming into these seasons by the colors, right? So a major indication of, let's say, the time of the year would be maybe what vestments the priest is wearing, what the altar tablecloths are, and then, like, let's say during Lent and Holy Week, you'll see a lot more purple. So we can start there with the colors, right? When you see purple, more than likely we're in Lent and we're doing pre-sanctified liturgies, compline services, and so on, and then Holy Week. But then all of that changes, even during Holy Week. On Good Friday, we don't wear purple, we're wearing gold or red. Pascha, we wear white. So every Sunday is, as I'm sure we know, is like a mini Pascha. It's all resurrectional. So the priest wears white or gold, or if, let's say, it's a part of a season, they'll wear whatever that color is, but primarily on Sundays it's going to be white and gold. Like, for example, just because we just passed it as well, for Vekapendavusto, for the first 15 days of August, we're wearing blue. We wear blue for the Panagia. So even on Sundays, you'll see white. The priest will always be wearing white, or the color, or gold and the color. So gold or blue, white or blue. You know, for green, some people will wear it traditionally on the Feasts of the Cross, anytime the Holy Spirit is present, and for the ascetics, for the monastic saints that we have, as the Spirit has given them wisdom. So that's why we wear green. We wear red for the martyrs. Obviously, they shed their blood for their faith, so we in turn wear red in honor of them. So all of these colors, and if you ever see black, that usually happens whenever we wear purple, but the black vestments are a part of a Turkish tradition, let's say even though not say Turkish, but the churches in that area of modern day Turkey. So that's why you'll see black. But what you'll see, even in the purple, for example, it's actually really supposed to be a very deep, dark red. Because we never actually, in the areas of Greece, we never had the dyes needed to make purple. The flowers that they take the dyes from didn't exist. They would have to bring them from elsewhere. So what they really had was, if you put enough purple in there, it becomes, let's say, maroon, right? We know what maroon looks like, the spongers, right? So it becomes that deep red versus it being like that bright purple. That purple is more of a Western color that we've essentially assimilated to. But see, the reason why I'm bringing this up as we segue into these feasts is you'll see that in our calendar year we have seasons. And every single one of these feast days is a pinpoint of that season. And so we start the ecclesiastical year being October 1st, and you have the 12 great feasts, and some people throw in the exaltation of the Holy Cross as well. So that's why you'll see 13 listed. So it starts with September 8th. September 1st is the ecclesiastical New Year. The first celebration is on the 8th, and that's the Nativity of the Theotokos. So then we go down, again, the exaltation of the Holy Cross is kind of inserted in there. But then we have November 21st, the entrance of the Theotokos to the temple, the Nativity of Christ, December 25th, Epiphany, which we definitely know about, on January 6th, February 2nd, the presentation of Christ into the temple, and then we go into, even though it's a great feast, it happens within Lent, it actually is one of those days where we have a lessened fasting rule, and that's on the Annunciation. And then we have Palm Sunday, Holy Pascha, the Ascension of Christ, Pentecost, August 6th for the Transfiguration, and August 15th for the Dormition of the Theotokos. And you'll see in this list, there's some that have specific dates, and then there's some that don't have specific dates. The ones that have, let's say, fixed dates throughout the year, those again are pinpoints. Those ones don't move. And the ones that don't have dates, those ones are on, let's say, our lunar calendar. So the first full moon after the spring equinox, that's pretty much dictates our Lenten, our Pascha date, and that is how that dictates all of those other dates, because the Ascension is 40 days afterwards, and Pentecost is 50 days afterwards, after Holy Pascha. So that's why you don't see dates next to them, because it changes. It's a variable feast day, let's say, even though they're all one of the 12 great feasts, the great feasts of our church. But today, specifically, as part of the introduction, we're also going to discuss the Nativity of the Theotokos. Because as that is we just learned, that is our first feast day that we celebrate within our ecclesiastical new year. So my question to you all is, why is the Theotokos important? She's the mother of God. Ding, 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 ding. Correct, right? Huge. But she's the mother of God. And in the ecumenical councils, they actually had a hard time describing the mother of God. In the early church, they were trying to essentially understand Christ, his humanity, his divinity, and what that looks like. And there were plenty of people arguing that Christ and his divinity were separate. But they're not. They're fully together. So we, through the understandings and teachings of what was now dictated and as part of our dogma in the Orthodox Church, we believe Christ is fully man and fully God. So, for example, she is not called the Theotokos, which is what people were arguing, meaning she was the one that bore Christ, who was human and divine. She's the Theotokos, the mother of God, because they were really just trying to emphasize his humanity to make it more, relevant to them. I don't know how to say it, but there's plenty of resources and texts and so on of the communications back and forth that we can look through as they have them documented. And the point is that she isn't just the Theotokos. That's not it. Because Christ is fully divine. He is God. So she is the mother of God. And she, being the one who bore God in her womb, it's only appropriate to celebrate her birthday. Happy birthday, Theotokos. That's what happens on September 8th. And the church, you'll see, will be adorned in blue. The priest will wear blue. And the priest and the altar covers would be turned to blue, and so on. So you'll get to kind of see, the more little intricacies you see of the church, the more you pick up on. Because not many people actually know about, let's say, the liturgical colors, or these liturgical dates for that matter. And when you start understanding the overall calendar, it really starts bringing to light. Just like how we have our calendar, or let's say our regular calendar, think of it, right? Now we kind of live in an eternal summer, right? It only gets really nice in the winter time, right? But let's say if anyone how many people are from up north at all? Right, so there's some of us. Okay, I grew up north a little bit. I was there for the first 13, 14 years of my life. We see seasons, like real seasons, not rainy season, humid season, beautiful season where we can actually go outside and not sweat, right? Those beautiful, like real seasons, meaning summertime, it's nice and sunny and nice and whatever. Fall, you see the leaves changing on the trees. Winter, those leaves come off, and you see a little bit white. It gets a little sad and mopey, whatever, I get it. And then spring, bursts of colors. It's beautiful. Our ecclesiastical calendar, in that same way, is beautiful. Because you get to see the changes throughout the year with all of these feast days. And you'll see, obviously, within them, they're primarily for the Theotokos and for Christ. These are the people of our church, obviously Christ being the focal point of our church, but the Virgin Mary being his mother, the compassionate one, the protectress, all the different titles. If you ever attend a Paraclesis service, that we have on Wednesday evenings, you hear so many different titles. So when I ask for, like, for example, well, who is the Mother of God? You can insert any one of these titles because she plays such an important role within our faith. As she accepted the call to bear Christ within her womb with this immaculate conception and deal with, let's say, that humanity to merely see his divinity in life. And even on the cross, she stands kneeling next to him, and behold my son. It's beautiful. The motherly, how do I explain it? We just had, His Eminence had a beautiful, beautiful sermon as we just received the icon of the Holy Theotokos of Imatarisa. And she's a mother to us all. As Christ is God to us all, she is a mother to us all, and offers that love, that compassion to every single one of us. And just like how we have Mother's Day and how we celebrate our mothers on their birthdays, quite literally, that's what happens on September 18th. We're celebrating our mom's birthday because she's the Mother of God and a mother to us all. And that's specifically why that September 8th is so important. And it plays a role within our liturgical life, as she is the Mother of God, as we heard. Are there any questions on, let's say, the feasts, not going ahead to any of the other feasts, but maybe this specific one, or let's say the ecclesiastical calendar? So I did good. No questions. Any questions outside of those that we could maybe answer? Yes, you're going to have to speak up. I'm going to come closer because I can't hear you. I'm coming all the way up here. I don't know if you've ever noticed about our iconography or not, but the blue's on the inside and the red's on the outside. Blue's on the outside, red on the inside. So the reason why we wear blue, now I just lost the reason why we wear blue. I came up here, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly why we wear blue. I'm telling you, it's been a long week, and forgive me. That is a wonderful question. How much time do we have? We're time? All right, I'm making you a promise, because it literally just left my head. I have no control over that. Forgive me. There was a point as to me pointing out why in the iconography. And it just literally came to mind and then left just as quick. I will get you an answer, and we'll talk about it next time, because we're going to talk about the exaltation of the Holy Cross, but again, it's not necessarily part of one of the feast days of Christ, the Panagia, that we have. So I'll offer that moment to kind of describe, because within the exaltation of the Holy Cross, what I'd like to start doing within them is also look at the icons, because that helps us depict and see, our beautiful iconography in that tradition allows us to see more into the feast days. So what I'm going to be trying to do is, and we weren't necessarily prepared because we just got back in late last night, to have an icon present of the feast day and then be able to discuss them as well as part of this. And there's a beautiful resource, and you'll see I kind of have sprinkled it through, of goarch.org. They have a beautiful resource of actually going through the depictions of the iconography, and that's part of where that inspiration came from as I was doing my own research and so on, of writing and whatnot. I saw this beautiful resource of the iconography that was part of it. And so that's something, and I saw that, I was like, you want to know what, that's really good to be able to share with people what is actually depicted in these icons. And a part of that was part of the segue I was going to go into, so forgive me for that. But I'll be prepared with all of that next time. Yes?
So maybe red divinity, blue humanity, did that help?
What was that?
Red divinity, blue humanity, did that help spark?
Correct. So there you go. That's the answer. Say it nice and loud. Red humanity, blue divinity. I'm going to get you the answer next time. That is along the lines. But let me actually do my research before I don't, so forgive me. But that gives us time. We kind of got cut short a little bit today, so forgive us for that. We're getting back in the swing of things. But again, thank you all. Have a wonderful week, and God bless you all.